Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Capricorn Rose. And tonight I want to talk about the Blueface and Jason Lee interview. The interview that was centered around Chrisean and Chrisean Jr. Was Blueface trying to go viral in this interview? Or was this interview set up because Chrisean just did an interview with the Danza Project? He had to call in a favor to Jason Lee, trying to steal Chrisean's attention, or was he trying to get her attention? Either way it goes, I want to talk a little bit about it. Blueface is, again, attempting to attach himself to Chrisean in a last-ditch effort, if you ask me. Right? Because one thing I know for sure and for certain, Blueface and his current circus will never, ever, 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 ever do the numbers or get the views that him and Chrisean used to get. It's just not going to happen. Okay? He sits on his boring-ass Twitch day after day trying to get, I guess, what, 4 or 5,000 subscriptions or subscribers, whatever it is. I guess he gets paid on Twitch by the subscription. Okay, which I'm sure is pretty good, but it's nothing like the millions of views and millions of people that would be in the lives when him and Chrisean would go live and do their toxic little love story or whatever it was. Okay, and Blueface, he knows this. He knows this. He knows that we're not interested in Neveah, Solar, and Superior. He knows that we're not that interested in Pink Face, Jaden, Javon. Yeah, nobody's checking for Carlissa. Carlissa's just over there just throwing anything at the wall to see what will stick. Her ass just be saying any old thing. We been stopped listening to her. Okay, so he goes on this podcast with Jason Lee, and Chrisean and her son was his focus. Right? So, I mean, and this thing about if he's the father or not, we don't even give a shit no more. We don't care if you are or you aren't. He has no new storyline to attach to Chrisean because clearly he hasn't seen Chrisean. So he has to go back and regurgitate all this old shit that is already buzzing and has already been buzzing on the internet. There's plenty of people that has been saying that Chrisean is responsible for Ronnie Doe's unaliving. There's plenty of people that are doing a lot of content on him not being the father. Plenty of people are doing content on all the fake storylines that, or the fake narratives that he says that Chrisean likes to perpetuate, just like he does as well. All these fake ass storylines. I don't know how long he thinks he'll keep our attention with just sleeping with a bunch of random women. Okay, we know niggas on the street that do that. So that's gonna lose this. That's gonna lose his spark. He's doing absolutely nothing. The things that he did when he and Chrisean were together, he's not doing anymore. They were getting booked for, shows and booked for interviews and, on the Angela Yee's, and he was sparring with Floyd Mayweather. They were doing plenty of things. He's not doing anything but taking the twins out to lunch, sitting at a park bench, talking to the chat, doing nothing. All right, so we're going to get into a couple of these clips because there's a couple of things in here I want to debunk. And the main thing for me that I want to debunk is Blueface attempting to get us to believe that he played no role in Chrisean drinking and smoking when she was pregnant, when most of the time he was the one offering it to her. He was influencing her to drink and smoke when she was pregnant. And I lightweight think that he was doing it on purpose because he didn't want the show to stop, because he didn't want the content to stop. He knew exactly what would happen once she got pregnant. And indeed it did. Indeed it did. And I believe because of that, he attempted to, influence her to drink. He knew how impressionable she was, right? She holds majority of the responsibility. I'm not saying that he's solely responsible, but what we ain't going to do is let him off the hook. That's out. We're not going for that. You're not going to try to hide behind the fact that you go over there and visit Pink Face and Javon. because you don't live in the home. You're not a 100% absent father, but you're not a 100% present father either. We're not going to let you do that. You spend a lot of your time on Twitch, on stream, creating this fake ass content. Right? So we're not going to let you off the hook. We're not going to let you off the hook. You're not this awesome, wonderful dad that you like to portray yourself to be. We don't care what your mama say. We don't care what your mama say. And we don't care what your doormat baby mama say. Okay, so we're gonna get into that. Right? So I got some clips I want to show here. First, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what he said on that interview with Jason Lee. Then I'm gonna play a few clips that shows Blueface.
But you weren't. But that was the time where Wack was like, "Stop being around this person. You shouldn't be around this person. Why didn't you listen?"
You guys will be able
Crazy
to tell
love, too much money
from her response.
But she was pregnant at the time.
It's not something that she wanted to do.
You know, I was
but
kind
she
of
did it because she felt like that's what he wanted her to do.
But that's another thing about her. It's like people always try to say like I condone her.
I'm not gonna let him put all the blame
drinking
on her
and
either.
smoking
They
while
are
she was
50% responsible.
Bro, I got
what
the fuck
happened during the
away
conception
from her.
of
As
that
soon as she
child.
started like
And
not
Neveah, you
like when she started getting big,
on your way, dear.
You didn't see me next to her. And
right, so let me go ahead
no video,
and,
no club,
cue up this clip for you guys.
no drink, no
right,
smoke.
Give me a minute.
You know, because I was trying to
share, subscribe, drop down in the
instill that in
comments.
her. Like, hey,
talk
look,
to me, I'll
just
talk
chill.
back. Here we go.
You don't gotta do clubs and parties and shit no more. You pregnant enough to where you can just relax.
When they were here last time, him and Chrisean was pregnant. Y'all were doing all that smoking and drinking here in the thing.
Not big, whatever. Big, take another shot. Damn.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Take another shot. But do you feel like what's that made it is both of you, but the love and some of the
I'm emotional right now. It's either my period or I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
What the Did you not hear me, sir?
Yo, I did.
So are you pregnant?
Girl, I don't know.
A lot of people have an opinion of it, but all opinions don't really matter.
What's your opinion?
Okay, I think I have different opinions. So if I have to break it down,
I want you.
This is good
I
for
want
show,
you.
baby. Take a shot.
To be for real, bro.
Take the shot.
Are you woke? What do you mean I'm woke? You gotta go. Take a shot. Yeah. I don't want this. This is not my persona. Ain't no have no more of this shit. What is it? It's Casamigos. You ain't mixing it up like that. It's special to me, baby. Yeah, man. Come on. Where you shot at? I already took it. I roll it out. I roll it. That's how I do it, bitch. Huh?
Okay, so the lie detector test determines that was a lie. That was a lie. So we see you here in a few clips encouraging her, influencing her to drink. Right? She should have said no, and she could have said no, but she didn't. But we're not going to let you off the hook. You're not going to get around here to sitting on Jason Lee lying, talking about you didn't play a role in any of that. Then you try to, back it up and try to say when she was big that you weren't around, no drinks, no this, no that. Okay, I'm going to show a couple of clips when he was around Chrisean when she was showing big and pregnant. Okay, go ahead. Let's take
All right. She'll follow after. Oh shit.
The lie detector test determines that was a lie. That was a lie. You were there. You participated. You hold some of the responsibility. Maybe not 50-50, but you hold some responsibility. We're not going to give you all this credit, like I said, for being a participant in Jaden's kids' lives. We're not giving you no props for that. Nobody's getting an award for doing the things that they're supposed to do. We're not going to pat you on your back. We're not getting ready to praise you as some stand-up father, especially us who has fathers in our lives. Okay, we're not getting ready to do that. You do what you have to do because that's what it is. Anyways, so the next little clip that I want to revisit, okay, this same old story and narrative about him not being Chrisean Jr.'s father, right? He's been saying that for a few years now. He is, and then he isn't, then he is, and then he isn't. Then his mom comes out and says she is, and that's her grandson. Then they get mad and turn around and say that they aren't. But all they're trying to do is attach themselves to Chrisean. They're trying to get Chrisean to crash out. They want to get some type of response from her so that way they can get the content, right? They're trying to get the content. But somebody over there in Chrisean's corner is telling her to, hold her guns. So hopefully she'll continue to do the same thing. I really don't have a dog in this race or in this fight. They're both the same person, in my opinion. But I do want to go ahead and show that clip. And then I want to kind of show you guys what it is in support, I guess, in support of what Blueface was talking about, is that he always had doubts, even from the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cue the clip from what he said on the Jason Lee show. Then I'm going to go ahead and cue a couple clips from Crazy in Love, where he first began to, to question and to have doubt. All right, you guys go ahead and take a look.
As you all had a child together, she named the child Chrisean Jr. There were times where you said it wasn't your kid, it is your kid.
Yeah.
Now today it's not your kid.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. Why did you publicly claim the kid to be yours?
We were making money. It was a good storyline. The biological father was he didn't fit the storyline, put it that way. So I went along with it, cool, But if you play back the train of events, it all makes sense today, right?
Did you plan that plot out? Like, was that a conversation like, look, this isn't my kid, but I'm gonna act like it's my kid for the story?
No. It wasn't necessarily like that.
Just roll with it.
Yeah, Mm-hmm. All right. Cause like I said, you can watch Crazy in Love, you can watch anything. I've always, the timing, the events never matched up, but I just kept going with it. Mm-hmm. But you can see, I'm a vocal person. So if I see, hey, on this day you said you were here, and the doctor said on this day you were conceived, and I wasn't with you that day, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna back off. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, okay. You know that I know, and that I know that you know. So let's just fuck it.
But did she know? She knew in her heart it wasn't yours.
Come on now.
Because she's smart and you're smart. I don't care what anybody thinks. They can say whatever. They can say smart. They can say whatever they want about both of your antics. You both are really smart people.
Yeah, it all funnels into the same.
So she knew in her heart that it wasn't yours.
Put it this way: she was with the biological father the day she went into labor. She was with him while she's in labor. She didn't text me, let me know that she was in labor at any time. That should tell you enough.
But wasn't there like a storyline that you didn't show up for the birth and all that?
Yeah, that's her trying to control the narrative. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you the real deal. I was never informed, hey, I'm going into labor, get here. Mm-hmm. What mother do you think would go about it that way? Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you don't really know, we need to check how far along you are. Okay.
How will we find out how long she's been pregnant?
I'm going to take a look, see if there's a baby, measure the baby, and that'll give me an estimate of how long she's been pregnant.
I'm walking in. Okay.
How's the baby? Damn, let her breathe.
It's breathing. It's alright.
I remember this one time you lied to me about where you were going for a couple days.
I only left for a day.
Then you turned around talking about you pregnant.
Here you go.
Now you're getting a question about your baby and
I don't give a fuck. We can do the DNA test.
That's what I'm saying. You don't give a fuck.
We can do the DNA test. Because we in a weird ass relationship. You expect me to like really be A1? Like this is A1. Like what are we doing? What do you mean?
But it's like kind of confusing.
Oh my god!
It says the alleged father is not excluded as the biological father of the fetus. What does that mean?
What?
It says the alleged father is not excluded as the biological father of the fetus.
Let me hear the father. Babe, that's me, your father.
It's not.
You the father, nigga.
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah, can you give me a kiss? You a weird ass nigga. What? You don't want it to be it? You're
I'm saying,
so
you sure?
weird.
You didn't even read the paper.
You call me dumb, but you the slow one.
It says the alleged father is not. Why do you write it like this, though? They could have just been like, more player.
We have a date.
In closing, Blueface is mad. He's mad that he can no longer exploit Chrisean or Chrisean Jr. He's mad because he knows that the circus is on its way out the door. If you ain't gonna produce the receipts, then just shut the fuck up about it. Shut the fuck up about it. Let the internet stay divided. Let the internet stay divided. But if you want to be some stand-up guy, produce the receipts. You have never produced one paternity test that states that you're not the father. Okay, and you're not going to get off the hook that easy. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't know. I don't give a hell. I don't give a damn. But what I do know is that you're not going to try to detach yourself from the worst parts of what you and Chrisean created. Okay, and then take full responsibility for other things that you guys created. The circus is on its way out the door. The circus is no longer organic. The circus that he and Chrisean produced, it was organic. It was organic when Chrisean whooped Carlissa and Callie's ass. It was organic when Chrisean's father ran up on Blueface and took off on him. It was organic when they was brawling, him and Chrisean, out in the streets of Las Vegas. It was organic when she was busting him upside the head with 40 bottles or whatever the fuck that was. All of that shit was produced organically. It was organic when Jaden was on social media crashing out, pulling up at the Blue Girls Club because she felt footsteps in the darkness. Blueface knows that he will never be able to recreate that because we watched that in 4K. We watched it in real time on live, not with a full television production. Okay, so he'll continue to try to attach himself to Sean because that's all he has. So go back to the drawing board, dude. Okay, get you some new characters. Neveah won't do it. Jaden and her cooking shorts won't do it. Finding love for Jaden won't do it. This baby mama narrative that you're trying to run with Neveah is not going to do it. Now we got two other guys talking about they're possibly the father, so you can perpetuate that same narrative. We see the play. We see the play. All right, y'all, go ahead and drop down in the comments, like, share, subscribe. Talk to me, I talk back. All right, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Because I'm thinking about doing a full debunker on this fake circus that Blueface has in front of us today versus what the circus used to be. All right, until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.